Students, welcome in science class. In previous session we have done combination reaction. So today we will do the next type of the reaction, that is the decomposition reaction. Decompose, breaking down. A reaction in which a single reactant breaks down to form two or more products is called decomposition reaction, in which the one single reactant breaks down into two or more products. This is the opposite of combination reaction. In combination reaction, two or more compounds combine together to form the single product. Here, the single reactant breaks down to form two or more products. Okay. Now, to decompose anything or to break anything, we have to supply energy. We have to give energy. Okay. So, in the decomposition reactions, we have to give energy in the form of, maybe it is in the form of heat, electricity, or in the form of light. So, in this reaction, we are giving energy. That's why they are called endothermic reactions. Endothermic reactions. Endo means absorb or gain energy or absorb energy. That's why the decomposition reactions are called endothermic reactions. Reactions in which heat is absorbed are called endothermic reactions. So, on the basis of form of energy required for the reaction, displacement reactions are of three types. If they are using heat, okay, they are using energy in the form of heat, then it is called thermal decomposition. Thermal refers to heat. If it is using energy in the form of electricity, then it is called electrolysis or electrolytic decomposition. If they are using energy in the form of light, then it is called photolysis or photochemical decomposition or photodecomposition. Okay, so one by one we will discuss all the types of the decomposition reactions. The first is thermal decomposition reaction, in which we are giving energy in the form of heat, that are called thermal decomposition reaction. See this activity that is given in your book. Take about 2 grams of ferrous sulfate crystals in a dry boiling test tube. It is a test tube. Note the color of the ferrous sulfate crystals. It is of green color, light green color. Heat the boiling tube over the flame. In this manner we are heating it. Okay. Observe the color of the crystals after heating. What happens? What are the observations of this reaction that we will discuss? It is saying to heat the ferrous sulfate crystals. Ferrous refers to ferrous sulfate. Ferrous refers to Fe2 positive and sulfate SO4 2 negative. The formula is FeSO4 and it is of light green color. Okay, green colored crystals. Crystals means they are having a shape. Okay. Now this green color is due to the presence of 7 water molecule in it. The one formula of FeSO4 contains 7 water molecules. Due to these 7 water molecules, it is of green color. Now we will heat it. FeSO4 dot 7H2O. We are heating it, so we will write triangular sign, put triangular sign, or we will write heat over here to show that we are giving energy in the form of heat. So first of all, it will become FeSO4 by losing 7 water molecule. Now from the green colored, it will become white color. It will of white color. From this, we came to know the green color is due to the presence of these water molecules. Further, when we heat it, FeSO4, on further heating, it will form reddish brown color residue of ferric oxide. Ferric, Fe3 positive, oxide O2 negative. Fe2O3, that is the solid residue, plus there is the smell of burning sulfur. That are the observations of this reaction of heating FeSO4 crystals. Okay, and the smell of burning sulfur is of sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. They both are gases, so we will write here G. Okay, so this is the reaction of heating green colored crystals of FeSO4. After heating, they will produce reddish brown color residue of ferric oxide, and the indication of smell of burning sulfur, that is SO2 and SO3, indicates that we are heating any sulfate salt. Okay, on the heating of any sulfate salt, SO2 and SO3 is produced and the smell of burning sulfur will produce. These are the observation in the exam. The question may be asked, if we are heating any X salt, burning sulfur of a smell of burning sulfur is there, then identify the X and the gases that are producing smell of burning sulfur. Okay, so these type of questions may be asked in the exams. Now we will balance this. Here the Fe is 2, so we will put 2 here. Okay, Fe2 sulfur 2, 1 plus 2, sulfur 2, oxygen 4 2s are 8, 3 plus 2 5, 5 plus 3 8, so it is balanced. Done. This is our first example of thermal decomposition reaction. Now the second example of thermal decomposition reaction is the heating of calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Okay, when we heat it, CaCO3, when we heat it, we will write heat here. Okay, it will form calcium oxide, that is a quicklime. Calcium carbonate, it is of white color powder, and quicklime, that is also of white color powder. Okay, plus it will release CO2 gas. CO2 gas can be identified when it passes through lime water, it turns milky. That we will discuss later on. Okay, now these are the indications of this reaction, that here the quicklime is formed and the carbon dioxide gas is produced. This quicklime, this calcium oxide, it is of many uses, and mainly it is used in the manufacturing of cement. Students, this is given in your book. Okay, so this is our second example. Here the one reactant breaks down into 2 or more products. Okay, now our third reaction. This is the third example for thermal decomposition reaction, that take about 2 grams of lead nitrate powder in a boiling tube, hold the boiling tube with pair of tongs and heat it over a flame. What do you observe? Note down the change, if any. lead nitrate. It is of white color powder. Lead nitrate. Lead Pb2 positive, nitrate NO3 negative. Crisscross it, PbNO3 twice. Okay, this is powder, white powder. Okay, when we heat it, the main observation is brown fumes are produced. Brown fumes are produced and yellow residue is left behind. That is the main observation of this reaction. Yellow residue, that is of lead oxide. Lead oxide. Pb2 positive, O2 negative, 2 will be cancelled. PbO plus brown fumes. Brown fumes, that is of nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide, that is NO2. It's a gas because the fumes are producing, plus oxygen. So this is the reaction. Lead nitrate, white color powder, on heating produce yellow residue, that is lead oxide, plus brown fumes of nitrogen dioxide, and plus oxygen gas is released. That is the main example of thermal decomposition reaction. Okay, so we have done the 3 examples of thermal decomposition reaction. One is the heating of ferrous sulfate crystals that are of green color. The residue is left behind, that is ferric oxide, reddish brown in color, and smell of burning sulfur is produced, that is of SO2 and SO3. Then heating of calcium carbonate, that they form quicklime and carbon dioxide, and quicklime is used in the manufacturing of cement. Now the third example we have done, that is the heating of lead nitrate. Okay, yellow residue of lead oxide and brown fumes of nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen are formed. So in this reaction, one single reactant decompose and form 2 or more products. That's why they are called decomposition. But we are using heat to decompose them. That's why they are thermal decomposition reaction. Okay. Second type of decomposition reaction is electrolytic decomposition. Means in these the compounds are decomposing by supplying electricity. Okay, in our book this activity is given, activity 1.7. Take a plastic mug, drill 2 holes at the base and fit rubber stoppers in these holes and insert graphite rods. These black colored rods are graphite rods and they are electrodes. These are called electrodes. Connect these electrodes to a 6-volt battery. Attach these electrodes with battery. Battery is having 2 terminals. One is positive and other one is negative. Positive and negative. The electrode that is connected to the positive side of the battery, that is called anode. Okay. The electrode attached to positive terminal of the battery is called anode, and that electrode connected to negative terminal of the battery is called cathode. Then fill the mug with water such that the electrodes are immersed, means dip in the water. Add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to the water to make the water more conductive. Take 2 test tubes filled with water and invert them over the 2 carbon electrodes. Take 2 test tubes and invert them on the electrodes so that if the gases are produced, that may be collected in these test tubes. Switch on the current and leave the apparatus undisturbed for some time. Now the observation. What do we observe? You will observe the formation of bubbles. Here the bubbles are produced, okay, at both the electrodes. These bubbles displace water in the test tubes and get collected at the top of the test tubes. Is the volume of the gas collected the same in both the test tubes? See here carefully. Okay, these empty spaces indicates the presence of the gas. Here the space is more than that of this. In this test tube the space occupied by the gas is less, and here the more. The more space is occupied by hydrogen. That means the hydrogen amount is more than the produced, more than that of oxygen. So is the volume of the gases collected? That is no. Once the test tubes are filled with respective gases, remove them carefully and test these gases one by one, bringing a burning candle close to the mouth of the test tube. All we know that when we bring the burning candle near the hydrogen gas, it burns with popping sound. And when we bring the burning candle near the oxygen gas, the flame burn fast or brightly. What happens in each case? That we have discussed. Which gas is present in each test tube? Okay, that we will see. What actually happens during the electrolysis of water? The water get dissociate into H positive and O2 negative ions. Okay, and these ions moves to opposite electrodes. At cathode, that is negative electrode attached to negative terminal of the battery, here the H positive ion will come, okay, and at anode, that is positive electrode, O2 negative ions will come. The opposite ions moves to opposite electrodes. Okay, now the H positive ion, it is positive, so that means it is deficient in one electron. So it will gain one electron and become hydrogen atom. First it become atom, but hydrogen do not exist alone in monatomic form, so it combines with another hydrogen atom and form H2, that is hydrogen gas. Okay, now on balancing, here H is 2, here it is 2, and electrons also 2. Now it is balanced. So in this way the hydrogen gas formed at cathode. Okay, now what happens at anode? O2 negative ions reach anode. They are negative, that means they are having 2 more electrons. So they will lose these electrons and O2 negative become O atom plus 2 electrons it will lose. Now O oxygen, it also do not exist in monoatomic form or alone, it will not be able to exist. So it will combines with another O and forms O2. Okay, now on balancing, here it will become 2, the electrons 2 2s are 4, so here 4 electrons will come. Now in this way hydrogen and oxygen gases get collected at anode and cathode. At cathode hydrogen gas and at anode oxygen gas get collected. Okay, there is no need to learn these reactions for the first chapter. Okay, this we are doing only for more clarity. How to write the balanced equation? H2O on passing electricity form H2 and O2. These are in the gaseous form. On balancing, for balancing, here H2, O1, O2. So here we will put 2. Now the hydrogen 2 2s are 4. Here we will put 2. From this balanced equation, we came to know the volume or amount of hydrogen produced is double than that of oxygen. Okay, and in the water also, water molecule hydrogen and oxygen ratio is 2:1. So this is the electrolysis of water and electrolytic decomposition. We will do third type of decomposition reaction, that is photolytic decomposition, in which we are supplying energy in the form of light. See this activity. Take about 2 grams silver chloride in a china dish. What is its color? It is of white color. Place this china dish in sunlight for some time, okay, and observe the color of the silver chloride after some time. It will turn grey. From white color, it will turn grey due to the presence of light. On coming in contact with light, it get decomposed. Silver chloride, Ag positive, Cl negative, it will become AgCl solid because it is a powder, white color powder. It turns grey in the presence of sunlight due to the formation of silver, and Ag and Cl both get decomposed. Breakdown will happen and it will Cl, it will release in the form of gas Cl2, because Cl do not exist in monoatomic form. It's a gas, it's a solid. From white color it changes to grey. Okay, so we always stored silver chloride in dark colored bottles. This question may be asked in exam, so you will write this reaction or in word form you can explain. The another example is of silver bromide, AgBr. It is of pale yellow color salt. On coming in contact with the light, it also turns grey due to the formation of Ag plus Br released in the form of gas. Now we have to balance the equations also. Ag1, Cl here 2, so we will put here 2, here 2, and for balancing this we will also put here 2. Okay, so these are the examples of photolytic decomposition, and these two reactions were used in black and white photography. Okay, so we have done the three types of decomposition reaction: thermal decomposition, electrolytic decomposition, and photolytic decomposition or photochemical decomposition. Okay, thank you.